This is Slashers, your new favorite podcast about your new favorite horror media. My name is Adrienne, and with me today, and as always, are my esteemed colleagues, co-hosts, and cohorts, Mikey, Doug, and Coker. Even though Mikey's mocking me, boys, say hello to the mutant goons from beyond.
Hello, mutant goons.
Hey, mutant goons, you might get some extra co-hosts here known as the lawnmower and the gardener. So just a heads up.
Well, I mean, we had the D-bot in one of the previous episodes, so it's only fitting we have like machinery in the background for robots.
True. I just have a quick question. So Coker, what's going on? This is how we're taping today. We can only see the top of your head.
I told Doug, I walked back into the apartment high as fuck, and I told Doug, I'm going to turn into Wilson, the neighbor from Home Improvement, for this episode. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to impart wisdom while you never see the lower half of my face. So fuck it. So.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that you were.
Well, I know what I'm doing. I absolutely know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay.
So if the 5 people who watch the video on YouTube, they're going to be like, no, Coker's annoying the fuck out of us. Jesus, they're going to like hit stop whenever I'm talking to shit because I'm just going to be the troll of the podcast, and I'm okay with it.
No, everyone appreciates a good double chin every now and then. I would show one myself. So,
Doug, you were working out more than anybody here, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It's hidden underneath the beard.
It is true. You sent me that picture earlier with your dinosaur, and your arms be looking real thick, shouty.
Oh yeah, thicker than the meat market on the West Hollywood.
Doug, do you want me to tell the story or just give a hint?
Which story? The one at that time I was. Oh, and when I was in Amoebas, right?
Are you okay with this story? You want
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm game.
So, all right. So, Yahaira wanted to take me out. This is a story for everyone on the podcast. Don't worry, folks. We'll get back to Shopping Mall. But Yahaira wanted to take me out to a really cool Italian dinner for my birthday in Hollywood. Like, looks like The Godfather in there. It was really nice. And Doug was all like, okay, I'll go to Amoebas while you guys like talking. We're like, okay, cool. And then we felt a little bad. We're like, shit, maybe Doug should have been here. But so we got him some rigatoni in advance, and that was some damn good rigatoni, dude. But so Doug decided to go to Amoebas. So me and Yahaira are talking. We're talking about all sorts of social issues. We're talking about me and my wife. We're talking about a bunch of shit. Doug's at Amoebas. And
Yahaira's like his psychiatrist.
No, well, fuck off. Okay. Fuck off. Anyways, Doug's at Amoebas, and he makes friends with this guy, and they start talking about movies and shit. And then, Doug, you want to take it from here?
Oh yeah, so I was just this will all lead into Chopping Mall because Chopping Mall is brought up in the story here.
Okay.
But so I was at Amoebas and we're going through all the stuff, and there was Chopping Mall and there was a few other movies, and then this guy, I'm minding my own business, I'm just browsing, and then this guy comes up, he's like, "Hey, is this any good?" It was like Absurd, that Anthropophagus sequel.
Yeah, the sequel.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And then we're just talking. I'm like, oh, and he's like, oh yeah, I like your tattoo. I'm like, oh yeah, that's zombie, gore. And then we're talking like Chopping Mall, and then I think Short Circuit was brought up, or some other stuff. And then all of a sudden he's like, hey, what do you want to go get coffee? There's a cool coffee place down the street. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm waiting anyway. So I went to go get a cappuccino. And then all of a sudden he thinks I'm like on this date with him. And he's like, I'll buy you your cappuccino. And all of a sudden I said, oh no, it's fine. This is like a $7 cappuccino. I appreciate the offer, dude, but no, that's a lot of money. He's like, oh, but aren't you he's like, but wait, I thought we were going steady. I'm like, wait, what?
He said, I thought we were going steady.
I thought we were going steady. I thought we were gonna date. I'm like, dude, I'm taken. I appreciate the compliments, dude, but I'm in my 30s. I can't do this anymore. And I'm just like, he's like, well, let me get you your coffee. And so I felt bad because I'm like, this is a $7 cappuccino. And we go outside, I say, thank you. And I said, listen to Slashers podcast because we talk about all this stuff on here. He's like, okay, but you don't have to pay me. But he's like, can I rub your arms? Like, okay. I'm just like, okay. So he started rubbing him. And then he's like, oh, well, the whole blowjob thing didn't come up in the topic, but I probably would have said, no, dude, it's fine. How much time do we have? 20 minutes?
Oh my God.
No, but I kid about the last part. But no, so I guess I got felt up by some guy at Amoebas because he bought me a $7 cappuccino. So see, I'm easy. $7 cappuccino will do it.
Well, see, Doug, now you know how women feel sometimes. Like, like do we have a choice? Like, how much is this dinner going to cost? Like, am I going to have to sleep with this guy afterwards? Because I don't know.
Yeah, I was just being nice, and I could see how it is. Like, so that was like kind of my first experience with like how that is. So like, you know how women get like hit on and stuff, and they're like, oh, I thought I bought you this coffee. I thought we were something. Like, no, dude, we were just talking about movies. What the hell?
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's especially the way men jump and shit.
Well, I mean, that's a lesson learned. Don't talk to strangers at amoebas anymore, Doug. My God.
But he was buying
Yeah.
Chevron movies, and hey, he had questions.
And then when
The
me and
plot
Yahaira-
twist is that it was me.
Oh,
how
Mikey,
Doug
you
and
can
I
do that for
first met.
free. I don't care. So, you're a host on here. You're working for free anyway. That's called slave labor. So
Right.
I remember
Oh my
Doug.
God.
Doug picked up me and Yahaira, and he had the biggest "fuck you" look to both of us. He was just like this, and we had a big old box of rigatoni. Like,
I was like, you
"Sorry."
guys are having a mafia style feast in there, and I was getting hit on at amoebas for $7 cappuccino. So who's, I'm easy.
Oh. Hey, but you know what, Doug? But you know what, Doug? We all went to Jumbo's clown room right after.
And yeah, how does this go into Chopping Mall now? We better get into Chopping Mall.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, it's nice that you at least got to talk about Chopping Mall with a complete stranger, and you didn't have to, get a blowjob or.
Yeah, I'm like like the creepy blowjob in like the parking lot of amoebas. It's really creepy down there. But no, I convinced him. I saved him a good, because there was a DVD copy of Chopping Mall and a Blu-ray copy, and I said, get the Blu-ray because the DVD is like a ripped VHS version. He's like,
Yeah, it's
thanks,
pretty bad.
dude. So
Well, so the version on Tubi, I assume, is the Blu-ray version, because it looks
Mhm.
pretty good. So okay.
Yeah.
I watched the version on Shudder, and it looked pretty good too.
Oh, okay. So it's on Shutter as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, if those of you who have not seen Chopping Mall, we were talking about this earlier, is basically an 80s time capsule. So we went from the 90s with Colobos to now. Oh no, wait, we went from the 70s with Demon Seed to the 90s with Colobos or whatever, and then 80s today with Chopping Mall.
And then we started 90s with Death Machine too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah. Okay. So we, we
We came full
surpassed
circle.
yeah, we sure did. Like,
You know
that's-
what that kind of brings up? No killer robot movies of the 2000s.
Virus. Oh,
No,
wait,
that
yeah.
was 1999.
I think we're due for one.
We
Hey,
are due for one.
We should start doing that because all these fucking low budget movies are coming. Amityville this, Amityville that, Amityville Vibrator, Amityville this. So we should do more robot one. The market's right.
I mean, Amityville Vibrator is on theme for today's topic.
It's a real movie. Look it up.
Oh, I'm sure that's fun.
Oh, there's Amityville toilet.
Oh my God. No,
Yeah,
so
we gotta get the Chopping Mall, guys.
well, I know. Because I was thinking, if we're gonna do 2000s, isn't Jason X in the 2000s?
2002, yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking Jason X because of the droid and whatever.
Yeah. It just seems like all the killer robot stuff was more 80s and 90s.
Well, this fits with 80s because there is, I don't know, it was some kind of strange, I guess, obsession that filmmakers had with robots and technology in the 80s.
Yeah, it was a fascination at the time. But if you look, have you actually looked at most 80s movies robots? They look like shit.
Yeah, they're like very clunky.
They're clunky. They're goofy looking.
Johnny
they're
Five
not very
was, and I thought Johnny Five was great.
Well, Johnny Five is fine.
Here we go.
I know. It's like Doug's favorite.
Doug's always going to bat for that robot no matter what.
Well, I'm surprised we didn't even talk. Did we talk? No, we haven't talked about that one yet. So
No.
Short
fine.
Circuit 2 we could probably do because that has, you can even look it up online. That's the most I think traumatizing movie for kids.
But okay, like Johnny Five, these robots are security droids that have like almost tank-like bodies. So they're not very like anthropomorphic. They're more like mini clunky, cheesy looking tanks that just go around shooting laser beams at people.
Yeah. With these, who did it look like? You know what they kind of reminded me of? Because I've only seen this movie once before this, and I don't remember anything that happened, when I watched it before.
Mm.
They reminded me of Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, the I.
I was just
yeah.
about to say.
Yeah.
I was just about to say. I was watching it yesterday, and Olivia came by and she saw them rolling down the mall. She goes, "Are you watching Power Rangers?" And I was like, "No."
Oh my God. Rangers.
Yeah, did she call you lame after that?
No, she likes the Power Rangers.
Oh, that's good. I love that.
Yeah.
No, so that's what they reminded me of. And was it explained? Because I watched it this morning. Was it ever explained as to why they just went crazy? Or
It was like an electrical storm or something.
that's right. The storm.
Short circuited. It's such a cheesy 80s trope too. That's what I really appreciated watching Chopping Mall this time, guys, is that not only is it such a capsule for an America that doesn't really exist anymore, especially that heavy mall setting, but it's also such a clunky piece of like robotics, but it really knows it's a B movie and it knows it's an 80s movie. It's like peak Roger Corman 80s. When you think about 80s Roger Corman and 80s B movie, this is like one of the top ones that pop into my head.
Oh, this movie's the perfect booty call. It's in and out within 70 minutes. You know what it wants. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
It takes its time during scenes, but other times it rushes it. It's an effective booty call of a B movie.
Yeah, that 77-minute mark is like heaven. Like I could put on a shitty movie that's 77 minutes and I wouldn't be mad at the end because I was like, it knew what it had to do in that time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Plus, how many of us love that Dick Miller cameo?
Oh, I know. That was
This is so
nice.
strange. This is so strange because I was talking to my friend the other day and he mentioned Dick Miller and I'm like, who's that? He's like, he's in everything. Because we were watching what's the Tom Hanks one about the neighbors.
The Burbs.
The Burbs.
Yeah, we were watching The Burbs and he's like, oh, Dick Miller's in everything. And I was like, who's that? And I don't know how it came up. And I was like, you know what? I've been thinking about rewatching that movie, Small Soldiers. I was looking it up and guess who's in it? Dick Miller.
Dick Miller,
I was looking at the cast for this movie, Dick Miller.
It's a Joe Dante movie. Anything with Joe Dante, John Landis, or Roger Corman, Dick Miller's going to be in it.
Yeah, Dick Miller was also Uncle Willie from
Demon Knight. Yep. Fuck yeah, he was.
Yeah. That was fun with him. And then it was interesting too to see all of these people in it that are in different things. Like even at the beginning of the movie, I don't know if you caught it because I was watching it this morning, but the kid from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 is like,
he's in there. He's like an extra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, what
really?
the hell? Yeah. And he was standing in front of the restaurant or something. I forgot. He was walking out and I'm like, oh my God. And I thought he was going to be in the rest of the movie. And I got really excited. And then when I didn't see him later, I'm like, well, what the fuck happened? I guess he's not special in this one. Cause when was Nightmare 3 came out in
87.
87. Yeah.
This was 86, right? Okay. So
yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, a quick recapitation of Chopping Mall. Obviously, we just said it came out in 1986. It's a group of young shopping mall employees. They stay behind for a late night party, which it's like an orgy, by the way, because they're all fucking.
But there's no like they're fucking like bed to bed and shit. And I'm like, well, okay, you all like to watch each other. That's you guys have your thing, But like the nerdy, like virginal couple is in the corner just trying to watch TV while the fucking orgy is going on in the background. And my wife watched that with me a few scenes ago, and she's all like, "What? And I was like, I don't know. It's Corman. What do you want?"
She's scared of like a black and white lobster movie.
Well, I
don't know how pure your friends group was, but that was not unheard of in my group of friends.
Well, yeah, but you would go in the other room and close the door. I would just be sitting in like a giant living room and everyone's just fucking in different.
Have you ever been to Long Beach City College?
All I know, this is Disney because I'm watching Euphoria right now and that shit is like porn.
Yeah, they spray cum on people's faces and stuff. So
do they really?
All I know about Euphoria from what I've seen is just like Gen Z girls being terrible to each other. That's it.
It's pretty disturbing. It's definitely like real life horror. It makes you feel ugly. I can't watch it before bed because I'll have a nightmare, but it's deep. But anyways, speaking of disgusting things, the manager of the Italian restaurant that the two girls work at.
Oh my
my
God. Oh my God.
First
It was
of
like,
all,
wait, did I direct this scene?
Yeah,
that's what I
it
was
was
thinking.
so.
I don't know why
Oh
I
my
thought
God.
of Doug when I saw it. Like,
I was like, this is everything I would have done.
I want the
It's
garlic
gross.
knots. I'm like, dear God.
He like,
and wiping the spatula on his dirty ass shirt.
Oh,
It was nasty, but also
Well-
I want to make sure I heard this line correctly because it was golden. I had to write it down. Whenever they are looking at the guy who I think Coker, you just quoted him, the hefty, sweaty guy that was sitting at the table, and one of the
Yeah.
girls goes, "That Orca beach is here every night." I am going to use that line.
and then the chef he's like, hey, you're breaking my heart.
I know. While he's smoking a cigarette. Like, that's how you know it's the 80s, because like he's just smoking a cigarette over the food.
You
Like
know what,
nobody cares.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he took the cigarette and put it like out in the pizza and gave it to me.
You know what's crazy? I was gonna say, guys, the beginning of this movie, where it's the whole day slice of life in an 80s shopping mall, not only made me feel like that era of America is long dead, but it gave me like a, oh my God, the 80s are the new 50s vibes.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
80s are definitely the new 50s. It feels like a whole other ancient world to us now. Everybody is still idolizing it like it was fucking perfect, when really it was goddamn awful, a lot like the 50s. And I was just like, time, kind of a thing.
Well,
Yeah,
I-
especially for workers.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I like that they showed all of the different things going on at the mall at the beginning, especially with the mom holding all the sodas or whatever.
Mhm.
And like you just,
Yeah.
so I
She
mean,
couldn't find a spot.
no, and then she ends up dropping it all anyways because the table broke. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this mall? But I'm like, I get it, because it's like a trip to the mall used to be like the whole family would go, right?
Uh-huh.
It was a fucking day and it was a whole thing. And now no one does that. Like, we have a mall downstairs, downtown, Fashion Square Mall. So if anybody listening from Orlando hears this, the mall is like dead. Like, there's no stores open in it. There's like 3 things open. It has a movie theater, and like we're just waiting for them to tear it down, because what is it even doing here? It has
Yeah.
they even closed the JC Penney, and now it's Spirit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know. And so it's just so sad. It's like you don't go to the mall anymore. So it's nice to see this, because I think a mall is a really good setting. Like the beginning of the Goosebumps movie. What was it? Not Goosebumps. Fear Street.
The
Fear Street.
first
yeah.
Fear Street 1994. Yeah, that had a good
Yeah.
mall setting too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that
and-
it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I was gonna wait to talk about this later in this episode, but I'm gonna bring it up now. Do you guys know that there's a remake coming?
Oh,
Haven't they been
Shopping mall.
saying that for a while?
Okay. I thought
Well-
the guy who died, who had almost human FX, I thought he was going to do a remake a few years ago where it was like, it was going to be an abandoned mall, and it was going to be killer mannequins like with like slasher weapons coming up against people. And he tried to
So-
get that one off the ground. He did a poster, and then the dude died.
Did he?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's the same guy, but the latest article that I found was pretty recently. It was the guy who did Laid to Rest. Is that who you're talking about?
That's exactly what I talked about. Yeah, he
Okay.
ran a makeup effects studio in California called Almost Human Effects too. He did the
Okay.
effects for that cool straight to video ghost movie Dead Birds also.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
But no, because I don't know if it's still going to happen because he passed, unfortunately. But Coker's right; they weren't going to do robots, and people were really mad. It was
Yeah.
actually going to be about like old servant souls or old souls of slaves inhabiting mannequins. But like my question, people were like, that's kind of problematic. But my question is, how are you going to set it in a mall these days when no one even goes to the mall?
Goes to them. Yep.
Yeah.
They come in Amazon trucks. They just go
I know. Yeah, they should have a horror movie in the Amazon warehouse. There you go.
Mhm.
Like that would definitely be.
Hey, do a sequel to the Child's Play remake where a bunch of them are now infected with that thing and they're going to people's houses and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then they're getting delivered,
Mhm.
like, the next day delivery.
It's funny you mentioned the Amazon warehouse thing though, because I was reading this thing on TikTok. Someone was like, don't order breakable things from Amazon because they actually have these little robots that kind of look like the chopping mall robots that move them for you. So like they always fuck up and break shit and they have to like fix it. So it could be like a setting in an Amazon warehouse where those little droids like short circuit and here we go
Oh,
again.
oh, there
Chopping
we go.
Amazon chopping, whatever,
Oh,
forest,
there you
trees. I don't know.
go.
Yeah, but the problem with that though, Mike, is then you can't really call it shopping mall.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, because and so I think that the remake, if they're going to remake this, then they need to set it in the 80s or 90s because
Yeah.
there's no point in doing it now. I can't even, like who the fuck wants to go to the mall anymore?
No.
Like it's
I
so
do
stressful.
because it's dead.
Well, we have a high end mall over here, and so it has like lots of like designer labels shops that people from out of the country go. And so
Yeah.
whenever you go, it is so fucking crowded. It is the worst experience ever. It's like there's people everywhere. Everybody's so fucking rude. Like it's just, I don't personally think that it used to be where you go shopping and it would be like a pleasurable experience and you this, that, and the third. But I think that with the convenience of online shopping now, it's like, why would you, go back and stress yourself out?
Exactly.
And especially
know.
during the times of COVID, malls are dead.
Yeah. Well, there is this one thing. There's a restaurant in downtown LA where they serve like desserts and like rolling sushi and stuff, but they have like little robots that come out and give you the stuff. You order it on the tablet and they bring it to you. So I'm like, well, that could be kind of an interesting fact. They bring out tiramisu. Just call the movie Terror Masu, where the robots
and
go
they actually
haywire,
and then they pull out and they're like, dinner is served, and they hold up the tray and it's like somebody's decapitated head and shit.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, play the music.
Or there's like glass shards in the tiramisu.
Oh, I like how we're not really talking about the movie. We're just talking about a remake.
Okay. All right. So
we're talking about our own versions.
Back to the recapitation really quickly. So again, when the mall goes on lockdown before they can get out, the robot security system malfunctions and they go on a killing spree. So let's talk a little bit about the couples in the movie. So there's 4 different couples, right? And I really like how everyone sort of goes out together. Like it's so sweet.
Yeah.
Like one goes and then the other one's gonna go next.
You know what's really nice too? The nerdy couple actually want to fuck. That was really nice.
Yeah.
But they're holding back, but they're clearly kissing and making out. I was like, oh my god, they're actually doing something in this 80s horror movie.
Yeah.
They're not fucking, but they're on their way.
Well, speaking of the friends, I think that this trope is something that works and like really gets people to connect with characters in movies. But like we were talking about the beginning, when we're just going through their everyday lives of working in the mall, talking to each other, trying to convince each other to go out and see whoever, like it's just it's kind of a nostalgic feeling because we've all been there. We've all had our friends that wanted to hang out. We all had our high school jobs that we had to wait till we get out of before we go to a party. So I always like when it's like a group of friends that are realistic, that are stuck in this horrific situation.
It's a working class youth.
The characters are super adorable. Like they're very endearing, especially with Barbara Crampton and Kelly Maroney at the beginning and how they're having these cute little conversations. They have their little sayings together. What do they say? They keep saying babe something. I can't remember. I literally just watched this morning, but it's just super cute and very endearing. And it's really kind of sad when Barbara Crampton goes out because
she goes out brutally.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, she was being a pain in the ass, and you always know when a character starts freaking out that they're going to go.
They're going to go. That's just a thing. They're going to go. The panicker always goes.
Yeah. So, I expected her to die, but I didn't expect that her friend just watched and did nothing to help her. Like,
Aid? You know what's funny, Aid? Have you ever noticed that in 80s Roger Corman horror movies, there's always a scene where one girl watches another girl get killed and doesn't save her? Like the Slumber Party Massacre movies.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, it's
happens
easier
in
to do.
every Slumber Party Massacre movie too, and it happens in Chopping Mall. So I think Corbin just had a thing for like female characters fucking each other over.
I mean, it's also a huge ask to be like, I know I'm dying from a killer robot, but can you do something? It's like, I'm only human. I'm only a 19-year-old, Italian restaurant waitress. Like, there's not much I can do against a robot.
Yeah, she's like, hey, I'm making $4.50 an hour. I can't save you.
Probably less than that. I mean,
Yeah, $3.15 or something.
yeah.
Oh my God. What bugged me is that Barbara Crampton's just laying there screaming. It's like, bitch, crawl.
Yeah, I don't know why she didn't get her ass up and move.
She was
like,
just going,
come on.
ah! It's like
But-
the Austin Powers scene right there.
Because like even the other one, like, and well, yeah, there are a lot of boobs in this movie.
Yeah,
But
there is. It's 80s.
the other one that was bitching at her boyfriend about the cigarettes, like even she was running away, but then she stops right in front of her friends, like, and gets her head blown off. Like,
That is fun. When
Yeah,
my wife first watched this movie, she was screaming, seeing her head explode. And she was like, Dad, take that, you dumb bitch.
yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good scene. Like that was a good, and I love how the blood splatters and they're all just looking in the glass.
Yeah, that girl had my second favorite line, which was, I only smoke Virginia Slims. No, Virgin Slims or whatever.
Virgins.
Yeah. I was like, you get it, girl.
Yeah,
You
like your
tell
pussy
them
smells like
standards.
Marlboros, babe.
Oh my God.
Oh, God, Doug.
It's like, we got some camels, but camels? And I was like, yes, I live
Camel
for
for
her.
your camel toe. How about that?
Oh
my God.
Doug, I knew you were going to go there. He's holding like a cigarette down there, just going like,
Speaking of, quick side note, do y'all know that this is the smoke break meets the Call Your Girlfriends episode?
Technically,
yeah.
we had a crossover for Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well,
I
Stoners and
didn't.
the
I didn't
cheerleaders
foobar
getting
though.
together.
You didn't. I'm the only foobarred one. So
No, I'm high on life. Thank you very much.
oh,
You're on your gym high.
I'm on my
But,
gym.
we do have a lot of boobs in this movie, but thankfully, thank you, Jim Wynorski, for the man jugs as well,
Oh,
provided
yeah.
by this guy.
Yeah, there were some fine ass guys in this movie. Him and the other one, the husband,
Girl,
Rick.
even
yeah,
the
and-
guy who took his glasses off and all of a sudden was like hot. I was like, oh,
Oh yeah, he was cute. He was the nerdy guy. He was a little cute too. But like,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm here for this. And he had his like the one guy behind you had his pants unbuttoned when he was walking around. I'm like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
I'm here for this. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So there you
mhm.
go. So that was fun.
it's more of a Ghoul Friends episode right now, I could say.
Well, this is an equal opportunity.
Well, yeah. I
If
mean,
it's a give and take.
well, John Terlesky was so hunky in this, they made him Deathstalker 2. So
Yeah. And he's
Yeah.
still hot. IMDb has a recent picture of him. Like,
Oh yeah. He's like, I was just looking at him.
I think he's like 62 or 61.
he's
Yeah,
almost
he still looks good.
69.
So does Russell Todd, who plays Rick, and he looks amazing, and his body is still great. And he has like all these pictures on his Wikipedia page with no shirt on. I'm like, hello.
Hi. Fun
And-
fact that's also kind of annoying is that the character Mike, who's played by the hunky guy, is always smacking his gum. And it almost killed it for me.
Oh yeah. Well,
I was like,
think
what
that
a
was-
douchebag.
He's
That
never
just-
not chewing gum in a scene.
I'm sorry, that just reminded me of that scene from The Birdcage where he's like, I don't get it. And Nathan Lane's just like, chew more gum, honey.
I love that movie. But yeah, so speaking of, so Kelly Maroney and Barbara Crampton, they still look amazing too. And I follow both of them on Instagram and they're always posting the most fun things. I'm just like, this is great. Especially because, we did Night of the Comet for December, I think in December for our
Mhm.
Patreon episode. And which was interesting because I think the chick at the beginning of Chopping Mall that was making fun of the robots,
Mhm.
like with the other guy, like sitting
Yeah.
down. I think she's
Yeah.
in Night of the, isn't she in
Yeah,
Night of the Comet?
she's a Night of the Comet. What's
Yeah,
her-
that's
her
Mary
name?
Warnoff.
Mary
Mary
Warnoff, yeah.
I was gonna say while I was watching this, I was gonna say this Chopping Mall would make a terrific double feature with Night of the Comet. They're both in and out. They're both 80s movies. They're both B movies, and they know it. They both have Mary Warnoff. It's just solid Saturday night double feature. Those two.
Well, the music in this too, I don't know if we hit on that, but the soundtrack to this, like that, it's very good. I like the soundtrack to this.
It's very 80s.
Mhm.
Like the whole thing
Yeah.
was just so 80s. And so it's nice to see that with some of these movies because, you know, not every horror movie or not every, you know, whatever encapsulates like everything that's going on at the time.
No.
And I think that this one did it nicely, especially with the hair, the makeup, the accessories, just
Mhm.
everything was so 80s and it's just so fun. So I think it was, I really liked this on the second watch because the first time I watched it, I think I fell asleep, but I was probably like late and I was probably
Mhm.
Oh, I was
drunk.
gonna say it's 70 minutes. Like that's the easiest thing. We watched this before we watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The one I'm like, man, this is like a commercial break for the movie.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so hear me.
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, did you notice that Garrett Graham was in it as well? And he also died in this one. The guy
Garrett,
from
yeah.
DMC.
Well, I noticed Garrett Graham gets killed by a lot of electric robots. Technically, Child's Play 2. Because he gets killed by Chucky,
Mhm.
and then he gets killed in Demons. Does he get killed in Demon Seed? I don't remember.
Yeah,
He
remember
gets his head
he
cut
got
off
his
in
head,
Demon Seed.
his
Yeah.
head was chopped off, right?
And then he gets eaten in Terror Vision. It's like, damn, you're always getting killed by some wacky thing.
And then he gets electrocuted in Phantom of the Paradise when he's
Yeah.
beef.
Yeah,
So-
he's always getting killed by a wacky thing.
Well, there you go. That's his calling in life, I guess.
Now I
I'm
don't
jealous of that
remember
resume.
when I watched this last time. I could have sworn like they overdubbed his lines when he's sitting in that office, like when he's hearing the sound of the robot going off. I could have sworn it was like and then when I watched the Blu-ray, I'm like, oh wait a minute, no, he's not making those sounds. It's like a trauma sound where they do
I know. Well, I did feel a little bit like a trauma movie at times, like when they were all screwing around in the room. So
Yeah, that felt very trauma. Like that would definitely be in a trauma movie, but a trauma movie would have made it more goofy and shit.
well,
Yeah.
they're dancing. Okay, the dancing when she's dancing, Barbara Crampton and the guy she's hooking up with, when the way he's dancing, he's like this. I was
That's
like,
another. That's
I'm
one
like,
trope
she's
I
gonna
can never
have-
get behind.
Yeah,
No
it was
one
very-
dances.
It was very Sleepaway Camp 3, I thought. I think this would make a good double feature with Sleepaway Camp 3, like
Mhm.
just the way the characters are in this. So
yeah, but like I said, you felt bad. I felt badly when they were getting picked off, you know. So I really like the characters in this, and it's cute, and I think Kelly Maroney does such a good job as, you know, like a kind of badass, like an unassuming, sweet looking chick, but she's also badass like
Mhm.
underneath it all. So that's a lot of fun too.
Wasn't she brought on so the director could date her?
isn't
What?
that every movie in Hollywood?
That's like a lot of 80s movies too.
Oh my god, really? I was that
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was replaced by somebody, and I don't know if y'all did a review of this movie before, because I've heard this somewhere. I've heard it on a podcast somewhere, and then I think on IMDb there was trivia about it. But she replaced another actress who didn't want to be in it because of the sex, and the reason why she was thought of is because the director wanted to ask her out.
Oh my god, I feel like I read something. Was that for this or Night of the Comet? I feel like I read that before. Maybe not.
And she looks like the younger sister in Night of the Comet. So
she is the younger.
she is the younger sister. Okay, I knew that hairstyle of the featherback hair looked familiar.
Oh my god, Doug, are you sure you're not smoking?
No. I'm sitting here. I'm looking. I'm like, wait a minute.
But yeah, no, that's
At least she's not a zebra.
I'm honestly not surprised by that. Do you know what's Leah Thompson? Didn't that happen with Leah Thompson in the 80s? Like she ended up marrying the guy, the director, what the hell's his name? Howard Deutsch. And
I
he
think
was
so.
like the director of the one of the 80, I don't know, a bunch of the 80s movies. And like they're like 15 something years apart.
Gee,
Like-
wow.
Sounds like Harvey Weinstein.
I mean, they're still married. I mean, Zoe Deutsch is their daughter.
Yeah.
You know, she's famous now, but I'm like, because he's not even that attractive either. Like, I mean, I could see if he was like, you know, because if it was Hugh Jackman, like we're 20 years apart, and I would so like drop everything and run away with him if he came and got me. But he's Hugh Jackman. He's not fucking like, he doesn't look like an old fucking man. Like, ugh.
What did this
So-
guy look like? I imagine he looked like the orca whale that was eating the pizza.
No, he didn't look that bad. That guy was disgusting. And again, like that's so funny that you brought that up because I was thinking, I'm like, I bet you Doug loves this part.
Oh, I loved it. Like I said, I'm like, holy shit, I forgot about this.
That was the best. So what did we think about the effects?
Fun. I mean, a bit cheesy, but fun. I mean, the robots are iconic, but again, they're really clunky. They're non-anthropomorphic. The one thing about this movie that always takes me out a little bit is when they start shooting all those different laser beams. I was like, guys, it's the 80s. It's not like that far into the future. Calm down,
Yeah.
Well, I always feel like the 80s always has some kind of laser thing in any action movie. There's always some shitty little cartoon laser going on. And so I don't know if that was just like expected.
I mean, it was in the Terminator too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one, I thought the puppetry on the puppets or the robots, well, basically they're puppets. Essentially, like I imagine it would be hard filming it because they said the robots were so noisy. You know what I mean? So when you're shooting dialogue with those robots going around, it makes a lot of noise. But I think they did a good job. The effects, there's a head explosion, there's a throat slit. John Terlesky gets his throat slit. Electrocution. Although Dick Miller's scene is a little cheesy. I'm like, the robots could have done a lot more, like make him melt or something. But because you might as well, you got a head exploding in the movie. I did like the scene with the vents. They're crawling through the vents. Like, I thought this was supposed to be an air conditioner duct. They're like, yeah, but it's cold outside, so the heat's on. Fun. This is a very unharmful movie. Put it in 72 minutes or something like that. Yeah, I can't complain anymore. I love this movie.
This movie is like going through a very 80s dark ride.
Yeah, for sure. It's
a
good time.
I was gonna say, I'm glad that that the Mutant Goons chose this one for us to talk about.
Well, this one's for Cam. I have this written down in my notes here, but I was watching it and I was just like, you know what? These robots would make a good killer in the game Dead by Daylight, because basically this movie's one long chase scene. You know what I mean? The characters are getting chased around. Although granted, it's like, it's easy to hide from these. Just hide in a vent. Go hide somewhere. Go hide behind a steel door. The robots aren't going to find you unless you're running around in the middle of the mall like you're doing. But
yeah, that was probably my biggest thing, because I'm like, why wouldn't they? Because remember when they held up in the restaurant? I'm like, you should have just stayed there.
Yeah, they're not going to find you. It's not like they're heat seeking or anything.
No.
So, but I mean, it's only a movie, so. But yeah, as far as like there was a lot of nice practical effects in this one, and so like I think that a lot of the the hokey stuff, it doesn't really detract from some of the better
because just that beginning in the mall, you can already tell it's incredibly knee deep in the 80s, so you accept the hokiness.
I agree. So I mean, it's cute, it's fun, it's a short run, like we were saying. And yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned Cam, because we initially were not going to talk about Chopping Mall this month, and then I just sort of pulled everybody online on Instagram and our Patreon members, and everybody mentioned Chopping Mall. So at this point, I'm like, I think that we should do it. Because it's a fun watch, and it's not like it would have been, because some of the movies, like if we're gonna do like Terminator or something, those are longer films, right? So there's just a lot more involved, and
I hate to say this, but as much as I tried to push the 1990 killer robot movie Hardware, I admit Hardware is another deep cut, which would have made it like another smoke break. And Doug just left. Bye, Doug. I'm glad we picked this
Doug's
over
little
another
shorts.
I know.
Doug.
What did I miss?
Doug. I was gonna say we saw some cake, good sir.
Yeah.
Oh yes, my short shorts. Yes.
We saw more than short shorts.
Oh no, is my dick hanging out again? No, this is I figured I'd dress like the 80s since we're doing Chopping Mall. I mean, I need to speak to my manager Karen shirt, and I got my short booty shorts. And I wanted to point this out too, because my buddy Kevin, he made this for me years ago, like before he left. He's one of my good filmmaking friends, but he used to make clay magnets, and he made a Chopping Mall one.
Oh, that's
cute. So this is one of a kind.
Cute.
Yes.
I love that.
Well, let's try to
that
get it.
Reminds me, That reminds me, my biggest gripe of the movie is that the poster and the movie
Don't match.
are not related.
Like,
Like,
no, they're not.
you see the poster and you go in thinking like, oh, cool, this is going to be like some sick, sadistic robot like killing people. But then it's like R2D2 just short circuited and is shooting lasers at you.
Yeah, you got a big
Yeah.
robot hand holding a bag, and it's like, oh, this robot does
Yeah.
arm day, and then you watch the robot. Oh, the robots
Yeah.
lift their hands up randomly for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, you think this is going to be like a robot slasher killing
Yeah.
people in a mall, but no, not at all. I have
Yeah.
the old. I have.
Oh, you
old
have the tape,
VHS. Yeah, I got the tape.
And that, a lot of people do call it a slasher too, and I don't think it's a slasher.
Not at all. Not at all. It's very much a killer robot movie.
I mean,
Even
the
the summary
robot-
in Shudder has it as a slasher. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, that's interesting that you say that because they're not very scary looking. Like they just look like a couple of trash cans with a lens on it. Like
Actually, I think the base was a wheelchair. I was reading about like how they built them, but
like
Yeah,
they
I
could have
think-
made them scarier or just like some kind of like more menacing. They just look like these little stupid things. Like
They
Like
they look like more bulky versions of the Nintendo Rob.
well, they even mentioned at the beginning of the movie, they said that they looked like the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm like, okay, so then why are like, I don't know. So that's my only gripe about it, I guess. But the cast is great. I love all of the characters in the movie, and so I think that at least there's that. But I wouldn't be scared. Like that's why they're all walking up to it, right? Because
Mhm.
they're like, oh, you just look like this dumbass thing. Like, what are you gonna do to me?
Mhm.
And I don't even know why they would even equip them with like stunning, like stun shit. Like, I mean, come on.
yeah.
It's a
It's-
mall. It's not that serious, people. Like,
Yeah, it's like you stole bubblegum. Time to die.
I know.
What are we in
Well,
Brazil?
didn't they say who are we supposed to be protecting with these things? And they were like money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's very relevant to
Yeah.
today.
Capitalistic enforcers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the ironic thing of it is that like all of the property damage that they've
Mm-hmm.
caused in the mall after that, it's like, okay, they didn't really protect, do their
Yeah.
job, did they?
Yeah.
So oh, there's
Damn, Doug.
Doug in his little short shorts. How
Damn,
adorable.
Doug. You're showing us the front now, too.
I know.
I had to put that back or else it's gonna break. It's already starting to crack. So I'm like, oh.
Oh, but so okay, so that's the effects. Anything else that we wanted to?
Doesn't Jake have a little sound bite to throw in here?
Yeah, so I guess we can get into that at this point. Doug, do you want to play it? for
Yeah,
us?
all right. This is coming from the intergalactic space station from Jake's phone. Here you go.
Maybe it's because I have boner-inducing robots on the brain because Alice Krieg was in the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You might know her as the Borg Queen. That I'm thinking about humanoid robots. And I'm grateful that the robots in Shopping Mall are not anthropomorphic. But at the same time, they kind of suck. So what I'm asking you is, what is your favorite non-anthropomorphic robot in film? Like an R2-D2 or one of those fucking things from Batteries Not Included or whatever. Extrapolate.
I hope you guys understood because this is PBS for me. I'm like, is this going to be on the test?
Yes.
Okay. So anthropomorphic means human-like qualities for those of us that don't know. And extrapolate just means,
Explain.
let's explain. So
Okay. Guys, an anthropomorphic means human-like, where it's standing upright, it's on two legs, and it has two arms. An example of an anthropomorphic animal would be the characters in Zootopia or Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Or any furry convention.
Any furry conventions. So a robot that stands on two legs and has the shape of a human would be an anthropomorphic. The Chopping Mall robots are not shaped like that at all. So he's asking, what's our favorite version of those type of robots?
So Johnny Five's out.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick. Does ED 209 from RoboCop count?
He's
It's
got
shaped-
chicken.
It's shaped more like an animal when you think about it.
I don't know.
Jake, that one's for you to decide, man. Mike, what's your favorite non-anthropomorphic robot?
I don't watch a lot of these movies, so I haven't thought of any. The only thing I can come close to are the robots from Mystery Science Theater.
Okay.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like I like those two.
They're funny. They're cute. And there's something on my, like, okay, I don't know if we saw it or reviewed it for this podcast, and I cannot get it out of my mind, but there's something about like a robot chasing someone up the stairs and they kill it on the stairs and it looks like a monster. I have no idea what that is. And I was going to be like, that was pretty cool, but I don't know if I even saw that or if I dreamt it. So if that rings a bell to anybody, let me know.
And this was how long ago?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe you watched Homewrecker, because Homewrecker has a scene kind of similar to that. And that's a killer type of robot movie. It's just robot arms that go around the house. So
I don't think so.
That would have been a good one.
Yeah, that one's obscure. It's not even on DVD.
Oh wow.
So
I think Shudder has it.
Homewrecker.
Well, when I looked up Chopping Mall, Homewrecker came up, but I don't know if it's the same one.
Guys, I can turn on my TV and check right now.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's okay. We got Google. It's fine.
Hey, Google.
Ooh. Oh, hey, what's your favorite?
I was thinking about this earlier today, and I guess I misheard him because I was thinking of anthropomorphic, like which one? Because I was going to talk about iRobot, but then thank God Doug replayed it for me again, because I'm like, apparently I wasn't listening well. But I did want to, I guess, I don't know. If I think about droids, like I really do, for lack of a better example, I know you're going to just say this is just me being a metadata whore talking about Star Wars, but I really do like BB-8. Like I think he's so
okay.
cute. And he's just like always rolling around. And like I even had one of the little robots after the film came out, like the little remote control one that we can run around the house. Like it was so cute, and he broke. But yeah, so I think he's like, he's very endearing for a robot, right? Like, and
I mean, I could see BB-8 keep still being in pop culture lexicon for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with R2. Like everyone likes R2, right? But I mean, for a newer one, because sometimes the newer Star Wars are like hit or miss for me, because
I'll say this just to piss off Jake. Jake, I love The Last Jedi.
Oh, well, he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah.
So.
Bold statement.
In fact, Jake, I think The Last Jedi is the best of the recent Star Wars.
Oh my God.
I'm starting a war.
I've never seen it, so it doesn't no skin off my
I was gonna
back.
say I've never seen them, so okay.
This is the one with where Adam Driver dies, right?
No, that's the third one. The third one's garbage.
Is that where he falls in the lava and gives the thumbs up? Or is that a
That's Terminator. We're going right back to killer robots.
Oh, I just remember I guess for me, like I like that. For me, I guess it's the little robot from Demonic Toys. That thing creeped me out.
I think that's more humanoid if you think about it.
No, he just has
arms,
toilet
legs.
paper hands.
Yeah, he does have toilet paper hands.
Yeah. I think he'll blow a hole in your ass though, so maybe toilet paper hands.
Oh, also those tank toy things with the eyeballs in toys.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Oh, does the baby from Toys count?
That's anthropomorphic. That's a baby.
That's a baby. Yeah, that's a baby.
It's a baby.
It's a baby.
Baby.
Oh my God, what the hell are we talking about?
We're off the we're already off the rails. So
off our rockers.
Well, and then the other movie that I noticed that had another was popular with two other people just answering my thing on Instagram was Terminator 2. So T2, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I was like, if we talk about that, we're just going to be like making fun of Edward Furlong the entire
entire
episode.
time. The entire time.
Hey, bro, are you going to eat that grease from that pizza box there?
My favorite
he's smoking 3 cigarettes, like,
My favorite non-anthropomorphic robot in film is Arnold Schwarzenegger's dick in Terminator 1.
You know what? I wonder if he has a big one. You think he has one? I don't think he does.
In the movies, he's always fucking
Terminator.
like blondes,
Was that really his dick? Do they show? They don't show it. They just show his ass.
I think they show it. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you
show
use steroids. They turn into raisins.
Well,
that's why I was like, is it really his dick, or is it like a stand-in?
I think it's really his, but I mean, like, he's just walking. It's not like you can really tell anything by it.
It's just doing this.
Yeah. It's just,
Well, all those action heroes, they really got to compensate for something with like the upper body strength. Like Sylvester Stallone has a small dick in Italian
Doug,
Stallion.
Did you see the Italian Stallion?
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
not that
really?
small.
It's not that. Who's comparing dick sizes?
Yeah.
Is there a scale?
There was a conversation recently.
All right,
about,
everybody, line up, get out the rulers.
There is a scale, okay.
There was a conversation about like how, horror always shows boobs and doesn't really show like male frontal nudity. And I'm like, because boobs are just boobs, like they're there. Like when you're talking about like the what is it, complexities of a penis, it varies depending on degrees, situation,
and how you shoot that penis too.
Yeah, like and it's
boobs you don't have to excite or anything. It was just like,
no, you can literally rip off the top on film and there you go. With penis, you're
like,
be like,
this is how they are.
Yeah,
like wait, give me a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to.
With dick, you got to be like, okay, how are we gonna do this?
Oh my god! And another episode that I can't let my mother listen to.
I love how we went from killer robots to dick. Just this is how we end
Who
Robot
did
Month,
that?
folks. We went right
Who
to
made
dick.
that?
Who made that? Oh, it was Abe that started that.
It was
Yeah.
me.
I will say, like, my total feeling of Chopping Mall is whenever I'm not watching it and people mention it, I'm like, it's okay, whatever. It's not my favorite. But when it does come on, it's like fully entertaining the whole way through. So it's like, I will watch it if it's on, but it's not something that I'll like go out and proactively try to put on. But it does manage to be entertaining the whole way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Like I can go years without seeing it, and then I watched it last night. I'm like, hey, this is a really good fucking movie. This is fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
I think it holds up really well. Like I think it still holds up to where people can, even if a Gen Zer watched it, they could pretty much follow it. Like it's not so completely 80s to where you don't know what the hell's going on. With the exception of the cigarette machine, because I don't think we have those anymore.
No.
Yeah, we don't.
Or payphones, but
I didn't even see cigarette machines in the 90s.
Oh, I was in Ohio. They grew up in Ohio. Those were all over the place.
Oh, that's Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only place I ever saw them, because I was shocked, is when I used to go visit my family in Mexico in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
All the hotel rooms, or all the hotels had them like in the aisles like crazy.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I could just buy cigarettes.
And what did he say?
I could have also drank.
He said, oh, $1.25. What the hell? And but I'm like, cigarettes are like $7.50, $8 now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And then he was like fishing for change. I'm like, dude, you're that cheap. Like you don't even have $1. Like the fuck out of here.
Yeah, what happened? I thought you're the king. You're the king. I thought you were the king. You're just a peasant.
Yeah, he's
Damn, Doug.
But how funny would that be? Because when she's saying, when they were all doing it in the same store together, and they were like making very like obnoxious sex noises, I'm like, okay, I would never be in that situation. But if I was, I would make sure to put on like the most obnoxious show and like so my friends could hear me say like the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
Like because I was like, who says that? And even like the moans were super like exaggerated.
I know. Why was she singing? Why was Barbara Crampton like singing a song as she's taking her top off? Like what's going on here? Like
you know what it would have been like? I need to send it to you, Doug and Coker, but it would be like that video clip I sent you of the two drag queens watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it would sound like.
Oh my god.
Like, oh, I'm about 7 pumps to come in. I hope you're ready. I drink a lot of pineapple. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
No, that's a Rob Zombie movie.
Baby,
Yeah.
I got my W-2. Yeah, I have it as a PDF file. I'll send it to you.
All right, Coker. I think you're dripping into your cheese in the podcast.
Okay.
Oh, talking about W-2s and
Coker, when you do that, you have to hit the mute button, honey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, what's your social security number while we're
I
at it?
know.
Hold up.
Yeah, he's like holding up his W-2.
That's the Patreon exclusive. Get Coker's
Here's my identity, everybody.
Oh god.
I don't give a fuck anymore.
Oh my god. Okay. So so overall consensus, we all like it. Is it the best film this month that we talked about? Let's go get into that. What do we think the best movie this month that we reviewed was?
Well,
I'm gonna be selfish.
I didn't say Death Machine.
Okay, I'm gonna be selfish and say Death Machine. For me and Doug, it was a big surprise and like one of the funnest things we watched this whole month.
Yeah, Death Machine was really a lot of fun. I do like Chopping Mall though. That's the thing, because after watching it again, I'm like, this is really fun. But just seeing Richard Brake and Brad Dourif go at each other screaming, that was like, man, this is cinematic gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess it's either between this one or Colobus, because I still haven't seen Death Machine. I need to watch that because
so Aid, how did you like Colobus?
I really liked it. I mean, it was a pleasant surprise.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It came out in the middle of all the Scream knockoffs, and it's so fucking different. It's almost Italian too, and it's Suspiria tone. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I know. It was all over the place, but it just, this one I feel like is all over the place too, but in a different way, obviously. But I was just surprised that I liked it. Because there's some movies that y'all have made me watch on this show, especially with Trauma Month. Oh God! When Jake had mentioned that maybe we'll do Trauma March again, I'm like, please God, no, no Trauma March.
Well, I will say there was one that I was going to mention to Jake. I had never seen it before, but it was called Gutter Balls, and I'm like, oh, maybe this would be a good thing. And I watched Gutter Balls. I'm like, no, we can't do this in good conscience. I can't show this to Aid.
Yeah, no.
Doug, let me tell you something. If you ever wanted to do a crossover and just have us talk about it, that is my guilty pleasure. And
I love Gutter Balls. I absolutely love the movie.
I would love the joint for that, guys.
But let me just Jake and Aid would not.
Jake and Aid won't. In fact, you guys aren't allowed to do Gutter Balls. I won't allow it.
I talked about it one time, and Jake was like, "IMDb says that it has a 9-minute rape scene." And I was like,
"It does.
Is that how long it is?"
Yeah.
But so I'm just telling you beforehand. So
Aid,
you can automatically nope out.
Aid, Gutter Balls is a bowling alley set slasher movie set in the 80s that you think is going to be fun and neon and campy, but instead it's incredibly mean-spirited and fucked up.
It's actually the most vulgar slasher movie I've ever seen. I'm like, I've seen a lot of stuff, but this is pretty fucking vulgar.
It's an 80s bowling alley set slasher movie.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. If there's
She's like, I've heard enough.
If there's that in it, then I probably won't watch it. I mean, it was really hard for me to get through Demon Seed.
Demon Seed was like kindergarten compared to what Gutter Balls.
Gutter Balls, yeah.
I know, but at the end of the day, I'm like,
yeah.
Well, it's funny because I knew about Gutter Balls, but the thing is, it's always it's always in like the extreme film category. And I'm like, it's a slasher film. What could be so extreme about it? And I sat down and watched it. My brother was here when we watched it, and he's like, what the fuck is it? He's like, this is the most vulgar thing I've ever seen. He's like, dude, every character hates each other. They yell at each other and scream. Like, how are these people fucking friends?
Oh my God.
It's great.
So guys, just for all of our listeners, that was the fucked up slasher movie Gutter Balls. Look it up.
Yeah, I mean, there's movies like that. Like I think like Cabin Fever has characters that are just so abhorrent to each other, right? So I sort of like that sometimes, because then it's just like everybody's so vicious, and then when you're, the stakes are high, like would you just ditch your friends or just stick around? So I mean, I get it. So if that's something that you guys want to do at some point, fine.
I'd love to do it. Yeah.
Guys, to try to wrap up this up, guys, can we list our favorite killer robot movies just to top off the month?
I think we did them all. There's not many killer robot movies.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I know any.
Well, the only ones we didn't do was that I was hoping we would do was Hardware and Saturn 3, but maybe next time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. This is not a genre in horror that I care for, because I really don't like robots in general, because it's like more of a sci-fi thing, with the exception of like movies like Alien or even Jason X. Okay, so that I can deal with, but when comes to something like this, I'm just like, not buying it. Like, especially with the terrible, like the look of the robots. Like, if they could make it scary, then okay, I can dig it. But I don't think that the robots themselves are very scary. So
I will give a shout out, and I think I've told some of you already before this when we talked about the theme in already, but my favorite way that a killer robot was handled was in a show, not a movie. But in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, if any of y'all ever saw it, Buffy gets a new stepdad, and it's John Ritter from Three's Company. Is that his name?
Oh wow, John Ritter, yeah.
Yeah, so it's John Ritter, and he seems like Mr. Perfect, whatever, and then he starts like slowly being like a little just, you can tell he might not be a good guy.
Yeah.
And no one knows Buffy what she does, and so finally, like towards the middle, she like loses it and she hits him and he falls down the stairs and breaks his neck. And already that's kind of fucked up, because you're like, oh shit, like she just killed somebody. Like, regardless of the fantastical element of the show, she just killed somebody. But then later that night, he ends up popping up in her room and he's a robot. And it was like, it completely fucked me up, and like he was the bad guy of the episode. But I really liked that, because there was a lot of different levels that it went, and a lot of different like genres, from like crazy stepdad to like drama, I just killed someone, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh fuck, he's a killer robot. And that was my favorite robot type situation.
It reminds me of this Tales from the Dark Side episode that creeped me out as this kid, about this killer vacuum cleaner that sucks people's souls out and shit. I forget the name of the episode, but they had this like creepy music cue when the thing kills the little boy's mom and shit. I was like, good lord. And it was a Tales from the Dark Side episode.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, I mean, I think and then that's the thing, like it was really hard for me to think of anything, and like the first movie that came to mind when we talked about this month was Chopping Mall, and I'm like, it's the only one I know, I think.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing is like every podcast and their mother's podcast all do Chopping Mall, so it was kind of like everyone's in Chopping Mall.
Yeah, I wanted to stay away from Chopping Mall, but it's a fun movie and everybody loves it.
Yeah, and I feel like we took a little bit of our own spin on it, as we usually do. It got a little dirty at times. It got a little crazy. It got a little
sorry, AIDS mom.
Yeah, but that's fine too. I don't mind. So anyway, well, we're coming up towards the end of the hour now, so I just wanted to touch base with you guys. So Doug, what is going on with the movie TV right now?
Oh, there's a lot going on actually. So this episode will air after it's out, but we have a brand new Friday night action. Fridays at 8, a new episode of Saturday Night Terrors with Yahira, Saturdays at 10. And we got Grandpa Oates Cinema Wood Chipper. The brand new episode will be airing this coming Sunday at 10. I'm sure they might do double of it, because we've done a lot for this. We've done.
Oh, it's going to be Sundays at 10?
Sundays at 10 p.m.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I can watch that.
Yeah, we're going to get away with a lot of stuff. And then I also did an interview with Felicia Fisher, the fetish model Barf Bunny, and she's in a bunch of like a Baroque House films, Cinema's Underbelly films. So I have it, and I don't know what episode we can tack that interview on with.
I was thinking we could put it on for next month when we do our women's march. So she's
perfect.
A woman.
Yeah, it's very, and then we even get she does great. She even does a phone sex trial out here. So it's a lot of fun, and it's very empowering, because granted to what most people say, I am all into any style of art, whether it's porn, whether it's sex work, things like that, it's all art to me. So granted to what people say, it's out there, and she's doing a lot of stuff. So I'm really excited for that interview to come out, because we did 2 interviews, one for the Slashers podcast, and then the Grandpa Oates one, which is more comical for the TV show. So, but yeah, it's great. Jake's on there. Jake's he's like, I miss shitty space, baby. So we got Jake. We got a bunch of commercials. We'll have cameos in there from Coker, Aid, Mikey. Yeah, it's just a fun public access. We got crazy televangelists. We got people selling used car parts for wholesale. So it's a lot of fun. And then the movie we're playing, I can't say the name of the movie, but it's one of the weirdest, funniest movies I've ever seen. Grandpa Oates plays a bunch of like really underground, obscure stuff. So you're guaranteed to see something new on Grandpa Oates Cinema Wood Chipper.
Well, that's exciting. And so Does anybody else want to plug anything before we go?
I kind of want to plug a little something. It's
Nah,
nothing.
I'm okay.
It's nothing like about me personally, but call your girlfriends. We have a scheduled upcoming special episode with a secret guest that I'm very excited to announce, but we'll keep it on the down low for now. Just expect something exciting, and I can't think of words right now, but just wait.
I know who you're talking about. I'm excited for that.
I know.
I have no clue. I have no clue.
It's going to be next month, and so I'm so excited. Like, I'm just so happy. So anyways, yeah, that's good. So call your girl. We've got some good shit coming your way next month, guys. And if you want to buy any fun shit like this t-shirt I'm wearing or the t-shirt that Mikey's wearing, and then Doug's t-shirt is actually the shirt we got him for his birthday.
No, speak to your manager ASAP. It's my Karen shirt.
But the Dimetrodon shirt and the Mars Attacks or Mars Rats t-shirts can be found on slasherspod.redbubble.com. So please go ahead and take a look at that. We've got a ton of new designs up right now. We've got all this fun stuff for y'all. So please make sure you check that out. Also, if you want to support us monetarily in a different way, you can always join our Patreon at patreon.com/slasherspod. We're trying to get some watch parties together this year for you guys so that we can all spend some time together and shoot the shit and have a good time. So I really encourage you guys to go ahead and go on there. And plus you get invited into our Discord as well. And so you can talk to us all day, especially if you had thoughts on the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre and you were just like brimming with excitement or with anger and you just needed to talk to somebody, but you had no one to talk to, like the Discord would have been a great place for you to join in. So, I'm really excited about a lot of the things that are coming up this year. So please make sure you check those things out, or just, go ahead and like our pages at Slashers Pod on Instagram. You can find me at Pathologically ADE on Instagram, or you can follow the Mutant Goons from Beyond page on Instagram as well. And then we're also on Facebook, Slashers Podcast and Mutant Goons from Beyond page, which, as Doug would say, is for the boomers. So boom away. But on behalf of Mikey, Doug, Coker, and myself, I just want to say this was a great killer robot month of February, and super excited for what's to come. So goodbye and good die.
This episode was promoted by Raid Shadow Legends.